We are back to the warehouse for Ball and Play 2. Baggage gets a shellacking. Let's talk ball. Welcome to the Blitzball Boys that talks about ball sports and warehouse, but lately about Blitzball, Ball and Play. I said I wasn't going to do that. I'm your host, Brendan Ruppel, along with my fellow host, Peter Del Rey.
Hey, Brendan, we're back in Ball and Play. I know Nate's happy about this.
We're happy too.
Nate, by the way, looks great in purple. He does. He really does look great in purple. Yeah. Nate, this tournament, for those who don't know, Nate is the referee.
Yes.
Who is, I guess umpire for all these games, whatever it is. He looks so good and so official this time around.
The red and purple contrast is great.
Oh, for his hair.
Yeah, it's great. It looks good.
I was like, what are you talking about? No, yeah, he looks very official, very good. He had to make some big calls in this game.
Yeah. Do you get
huge number?
This isn't the show for this, I guess, but do you get a little turned on when he does the four wave? It's very sexual. I don't know if anybody else notices this.
Well, that's because he's gyrating.
He is absolutely gyrating.
If you see it, Nate takes a nice low stance and just
whoa, yeah.
It's very titillating. I texted you, or did we talk about it in person? What a banger of a match to start this thing.
Yes, before the game started, you were like,
before the game started, it was Del Caribe, who was the semifinal or the runner-up in the last Ball and Play tournament, and Baggage, who after Captain's League with Jimmy and Jake and Rob Sirocco's performances there, you and I were saying that, it's very possible this team goes undefeated.
Yeah, they feel like the new front runners after Captain's League. I don't remember what they did in Ball and Play 1, which is also Ball and Play 2, and so is this Ball and Play 2. I guess it's like they kind of reset after, like this is the third Ball and Play tournament, but the first one doesn't count. I guess
first one doesn't count. Tester League.
But yeah, in Ball and Play 1, I don't remember what Baggage did, but regardless of what they did, they weren't as impressive as they were at Captain's League. I feel like Jimmy just has a real good handle on, especially running the base paths. He has a good handle on pitching theory. He has a good handle on, and it didn't work out in practice today. I think he knows what he wanted to do. It didn't work out in execution. We'll get to that a little bit later.
I'm going to pull up last year's stats because I think Jimmy still did pretty well.
But regardless of what happened last year, Del Caribe versus Baggage in other sports, like the aforementioned Blitzball, is a very different matchup in that it's two kind of lower end teams playing each other, but still of similar quality. In Ball and Play, it's two of the better teams going at it, especially from what we saw this time. Del Caribe always could hit. Me and Peter talking a little bit off mic before how Lou in Captain's League had a really tough time. Had to play it with that big swing, can induce a lot of pop-ups. Not this time. We saw Lou that we are more familiar with when he's swinging a big bat.
Well, not to mention we saw the advantage that having a pro who was in the tournament last year has for Del Caribe.
Yeah.
Because Aaron really felt like he was in the zone. He really knew what to do and how and where to position himself, how to bowl properly in this league. Where I think we saw Father Shea, falter once or twice.
Yeah, I think Chris Rose said a little bit, but like the new cricketers, a lot of times will have a little bit of a learning curve, especially with the bat, because they just it's a different way of swinging. Aaron didn't even get that much of a chance to swing because of Lou. But when he does, he makes his moments shine.
On the other end of it, he was phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, ridiculously good.
Phenomenal bowling. But do you remember how to burn a Ball and Play game, Brendan?
I think so. They will get better as we go along.
Millions of eyes are on Brendan Ruppel as he goes to burn the first Ball and Play game right now.
It's everyone's favorite warehouse rivalry, Del Caribe versus Team Baggage. Unfortunately for Team Baggage, Lou Dab is on a revenge tour against the warehouse YouTube commenters. All he does is hit the ball hard. Every member of Del Caribe joins the fireworks against Baggage as they surpass the half-century mark in the first inning. Baggage needs a half inning to stay in this game, but like a father who's good at high jump, they can't stop with the pop-ups. 3 quick pop-ups basically end Baggage's chances of winning, but we've seen crazier things in ball and play. Just kidding, Lou continues his domination at the stumps and accounts for over half of Del Caribe's 103 runs. They demolish Team Baggage 103-62.
Yeah, it was an insane game. Great job, Brendan. I really like that.
Did you understand what I was talking about with the father who is good at high jumps?
That was my favorite part.
It was a stretch.
That was my favorite one out of everything that you said.
Okay.
I really like that one a lot. But it was an insane game. You look at, like you were saying before, Aaron didn't really get a huge chance at the plate to shine today. But then you look like Toby and his 3 balls that he faced scoring 10 runs, Joe scoring 30, Blue scoring 55. That's not counting the runs scored off of no balls.
Oh, yeah.
They were completely dominant. They felt super comfortable back in there. Like, this is the team formerly known as Pinstripes sport. Mm-hmm. Del Caribe absolutely fucking owns at ball and play. And I think that not only is Lou on a revenge tour against people like us, who in our Captain's League recap said, hey, maybe Lou wasn't that great this time around. Mm-hmm. But the YouTube commenters, and I'm sure some other people who are playing, were like, hey, maybe we'll have an easy time against Lou. First game, he said, not going to happen.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's funny because I wonder if one of the things we were talking about, especially in Captain's League, was like maybe he just shouldn't swing so hard. I don't think that's what he adjusted because it still looks like he rips him as hard as he can. But
right.
He's just got such a level bat path. And I think if anything, maybe he just cut down on all of the uppercut in his swing because when they give you that beautiful side angle, like looking straight at his body to watch his swing, it's like it's a picture perfect swing.
Right. And if Lou, I think, showcased in this first game that, hey, he's like, hey, I added bowling to my game, then I think that Lou is easy MVP frontrunner here on out.
Which I remember him not being that bad. I think I remember him being like middle of the pack or even maybe top 10 in ball and play one. Because I think there was a award I gave him for like being solid. Yeah,
9th in terms of runs, or runs conceded per overs bowled. Yeah. He was 9th.
But yeah, it's nuts. Like, even so, the first inning, when Lou ends up wicketing out, other guys get to hit. And whenever somebody because I think they start with Joes and Lou, right? Then when Aaron or Toby get up, they also make their mark as well. Like, all right, I only got a couple chances to hit here. They still get boundaries. Toby, like you said earlier, too, very impressive that he's able to hit so well being a new player as well.
Toby was super impressive. You saw Melinda going nuts for him. Who, by the way, you and I talked about this already. We love Melinda.
Yeah, we love her already.
She is awesome. I'm not going to lie to you, Brendan, and I think we've talked about this before when Nate first told us we couldn't get Darren back. I was very nervous because Darren was a great part of
they haven't had a dud yet. They've only had absolute all-stars for every sport they've ever done. And you have to wonder when Jimmy or Nate says something to us about we got a new announcer for this ball and play league or any sport that they're going to do. You're like, can they strike gold again? It just seems impossible to continue to find these awesome people. Right. And they've done it again. Different than Darren Sammy, of course, but so fun and bubbly.
Fantastic.
I don't know if I said this to you yet or not, but just turning on this game and seeing the excitement in the room, I think Jimmy said to us that he was worried about the energy level in this one because, maybe he said it on a morning that he's worried that people wouldn't get a sense of what was going on in the warehouse because he forgot to do the walk around cam. And I didn't miss it. I like that cam in other sports, but I didn't miss it at all because the energy was palpable. I think the art direction was beautiful. I think the colors were bright and it looked gorgeous in there.
Wow.
The whole setup just looked really nice and inviting. The warehouse has never looked better. Just overall great job to people like our good friend Warehouse Rob.
Yeah. MFA Brendan Ruppel here for your service.
That's right.
Masters of Fine Arts for anybody who doesn't know that. The game itself, I think that it doesn't miss that like walkabout camera because it is constant action and it is kind of
That's
like
exactly right.
edge of your seat, like what the fuck is going to happen next type of thing.
Hence ball in play. Something's always going on.
Oh,
They said it. I think Chris said it at some point.
said what?
He said the word ball in play. Because Nicole was next to me. She's like,
Oh,
he said the
the
title.
one word.
Yeah.
Oh, how does Nicole like this one? She didn't watch this one with you last time, right?
She was really excited for ball and play because she got into warehouse games through Captain's League ball and play. So she's really excited to see her favorite. I think she likes this better than Blitzball.
Honestly, Brendan, I kind of like this better than Blitzball.
I like Blitzball better just because I love watching pitching. But otherwise, I fully understand. I'm not against you guys.
This is my favorite warehouse sport. We've never made that a secret. Like we talked about this during Ball and Play 1. This is my favorite warehouse sport. Slap ball might be getting up there. If they work out some of the kinks that they got going on, like slap ball might overtake it, but for now it is Ball and Play. It's just like nonstop action. And the nuances of defense and pitching, or bowling rather. But we could talk about this forever. We both, men in our 30s who have a passion about a YouTube channel.
I'm 29.
All right. No. We're rounding up, Brendan.
Nope.
You're 40.
No. 45.
45. Tell the truth. Let's go through this inch by inch. We don't have to do over by over, but like we'll do inning by inning, top and bottom, top and bottom. Like you said in your burn, Del Caribe starting off striking, really left no questions. I think what everybody, we talked to a couple guys last year. I want to say BBD, Drew, who else? Jolly, Lou. Well, we didn't talk to Jolly on here, but we spoke to Jolly on like Twitter and all that. Lou, everybody kind of said 50 was the magic number for. That's the first time you feel safe.
That's a big one.
If you can get 50 in an inning, that's the first time you could feel safe. And immediately when you have somebody like Lou on the team,
who can give you essentially 50 on his own.
Well, what in the very first over? What did he do? He gave 15 in the very first over.
Yeah,
he gave 15 runs, and it's like, wow, more than half the people in this game didn't score 15 runs off of hits.
Yep.
Then you have Aaron, who's taking advantage of the new back wall rule, just shoveling it up. So fun,
so cool.
It was awesome.
They tried it total of what, twice, and they both nailed it.
Was it twice?
Maybe there's a third one that happened.
The only ones that I could remember is Aaron's doing it in the first over, and then Jimmy getting beat out by Aaron towards the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. Toby got one as well.
Toby got one.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the Cricketers got it.
I see it. So what happened was you saw Lou return to form, which I can't remember if we said it on the podcast we were talking about this before in our Captain's League recap with Nate, or if we said it with Jimmy when he came on. But we said Lou didn't have a great Captain's League. We think that he's not going to let that slide and come back in Ball and Play 2 and be MVP Lou again.
Yeah. He may be a mailman, but he's a fierce competitor.
Yeah. That's what I don't understand what that has to do with anything.
Because he shouldn't care that much, but he cares just about as much as anybody. Like he's
Nobody
like up there
should
with
care
Drew.
that much, except for Jimmy and Jake. Nobody should care that much.
I mean, they probably care about the performances on the field the least out of everybody. They care more about the product that comes out of it.
Wrong.
They care as much as they can, but they're not going to go out and practice. Like, Lube cares a ton.
They practice every day. That's the only reason Jimmy had
all
kids
they do. They don't work.
Was to get practice mates. But so we had Lou return to form. Aaron comes, shows that he can do that little cheeky flip to the back wall. Didn't really get another chance on strike until their second time up. Actually, did he even? I don't think he got another. He only got the one ball. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Aaron only got the one ball the entire time, but he made it count. Then you have Joe's.
So it was one hit and one pitch and
one ball
a four ball. Okay, yep.
So then you have Joe's, who's always a threat during Ball and Play. He showcased it more in the second inning than in the first, but I mean his first at bat smashing a
Yeah,
six.
I think that the important thing in this first inning is at least like to show that you have pop is important. Like we'll get to the next inning too, at the
Well,
bottom
not
of it,
only
and
that,
they don't show
just like
that immediately. But he could do it.
Joe shows off that he's a threat as well. And then Toby, the biggest question mark for Del Caribe, Toby comes in there, and Melinda's talking all this stuff about, oh, for more terms that you and I can understand better than
Hmm.
what Melinda said. Oh, he calls himself a pickup player, really, that he's not that good. And she's like,
He's a
he's
bush
good.
leaguer. Yeah,
He's definitely good. And then he shows up and he gets 10 runs off of 2 balls
that's
right
cool. That's so
away.
cool that like there's such a community there that he's not even a professional player and she still knows his game. That
Right.
was interesting to me.
Well, they're friends.
But I don't think they play pickup cricket together. Unless
They
they do.
might. You don't know that.
Yeah,
You don't know that.
I don't know.
Maybe she has a podcast about his pickup cricket games.
I would gotta tune into that.
But they showed off their strengths in this first over. Now, Baggage did have some great defensive plays, catching 2 wickets as well as, one for Lou, which is, oh, I'm sorry. Lou was not a catch. Lou was the magic hole. Rob threw it in the magic
Yeah.
hole for Lou. And then Joe's gets a catch that Jake grabs, and then Toby started running after barely tipping the ball, and Jake threw it at the wicket, got him out. So
Yeah,
there
so
was no complete inning.
2 base running blunders. Like, think about that for a second. What if they were on their running game and didn't have these fuck ups here?
Yep.
What would that total have been for the first inning? I think it could have gone north of 60.
I mean, Brendy, something tells me that we're going to find out later
Yeah.
in the tournament. To be fair, it's only really 3 balls that we missed out on for this
True,
first.
true.
But the way that Toby's been hitting and the way that Lou has been hitting and Joe's and Aaron,
It wouldn't be crazy to assume
absolutely could
10
have been
runs
60.
out of that. Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be crazy to assume 10 runs out of the 3 balls. So after this, you and I were talking this big game. Oh, we're expecting so much out of Baggage. This is going to be like phenomenal. Baggage is going to come back super strong. And then they kind of had a stinker, is unfair to say, but scoring 17 runs in the bottom of the first is not ideal, especially when the first ball bowled by Joe's, which was the first ball for them. Rob, offensive MVP from Captain's League Ball and Play, which does have the new rules, not like the last Ball and Play 1, which did not have these new rules, pops up immediately for a wicket. And Joe's was unbelievable.
Yeah, and on the other side too, even still stuck in that top of the first inning, talking about Baggage now. Baggage is supposed to be also a very defensive first team, so they already shit the bed for one of the bigger parts of their game, letting up 51 runs. Now, Del Caribe has done exactly what they wanted to do, and being the offensive powerhouse they are, and are putting pressure by starting off with the 51 spot. So it's already like, of course, you put them in this deep hole, but there's this pressure that we've learned from cricket.
Right. It's it was shocking, honestly, for Baggage to get 12 in the first over, 5 in the second, and then in the third over, it was 1 ball that was popped up by their pro, Father Shea, and caught by Aaron.
Yeah.
For an out. Like, you're seeing this learning curve that Chris Rose talked about, we spoke about earlier in the episode, where a pro in this warehouse, in this I mean, that's what you saw, right? It was Aaron pro versus Shea pro.
Yep.
And Aaron had the clear advantage because he knew how the warehouse worked. Give it a game or two, I'm sure Shea will be fully acclimated. Maybe have Shea start on strike next game just to get him those reps.
And I'm sure Jimmy will help him figure out like how the swing approach should be, because he's really cricket like uppercutting it right now, and that's not what you want in this warehouse at all. The ceiling is a death ball.
Right. But like we also saw, like I said, if we only saw 1 ball bowled in the third over, that means there were 2 other wickets caught. We already talked about Rob's at the beginning, and then Jake popping out behind the wickets for Lou to catch it. Lou is a great wicket keeper. We all know
Yeah.
this. When Aaron's bowling and Lou is back there, they have two from what we saw from Aaron in the first over and in the second inning entirely. He's a fantastic wicket keeper.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He's got
And then
hands.
somebody else who's great behind there is Lou. And we've talked about this so much. We talked about it with Nate. We talked about it here. I mean, one thing that I was kind of shocked about is we didn't really see Silly Point utilized like we did in Captain's League.
Yeah, it seemed a bit more
We saw it,
out of
I think,
desperation
once.
when Jake comes up against, I think Lou's in there, and Jake's has had enough of him just destroying them, so he goes up, and it looks like he's whispered some sweet nothings into him, and it works a little bit. But
I mean, that's the only thing. That's the only time that we saw it.
yeah, it was utilized quite a bit in Captain's League. I'm sure we'll see more of it as time goes on. But it seems like that pop up that was induced to Jake. It looked like it was another one of those balls that we see is really important to have.
Induced to Jake or from Jake?
From Jake, induced by who was in the mound at that point? Aaron.
Yeah.
He's pitching him up and in, and that's where you're gonna get your pop ups from. And for some reason, maybe I just didn't see it because I was so busy watching Lou hit and destroy balls. It didn't seem like Rob Soraka or Jimmy were able to find that up and in quadrant.
Right.
But Aaron, not of course, bowling here is very different than bowling in real life. He's not a bowler in his sport, but he understands. He's been here before and knows exactly where to toss this ball to these players.
Right.
Even though these players are all veterans, except for Shea, they can't hit too much with it either. It's still a lot of Jimmy and Jake that are just kind of hitting ground balls before all the wickets.
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
We saw two people in this game who have never played warehouse ball and play before, right? Shea and Toby.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's almost an advantage for Toby to not be a professional cricketer in this situation so that he can better acclimate to kind of, for lack of a better term, bullshit rules like
I was
this?
thinking about that too. No, that's a good point. I'd say that that could be something there. He's a village cricketer, as he calls himself, and he doesn't have as many like ingrained tendencies as maybe like a professional does. I could see that being a thing.
Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing the whole time. That the way that Toby plays is a lot more like the way that Shea plays is a lot more of him trying to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that works better when you have like a heavier bat and a heavier ball, because that way, like if you hit the ball on the bat a certain way, you know how it's going to react. With such a soft ball and a plastic bat, it's almost like depending on the wear of the bat, depending on the wear of the ball, the reaction is going to be different every time. So it's almost like just try to barrel it.
And these bats were hand melted by Jack Doyle to be whatever the hell shape
allegedly.
they are.
Allegedly.
And also our guy Shea here barely. I think would he get 2 at bats? I don't even. Let me just check that out quick.
He faced 4 balls.
Faced 4 balls, 2 hits. He didn't get much up there, so we didn't see much of what he's capable of. Maybe it still wouldn't have been good, but the more he sees it, and the more he actually feels that ball on that bat and what it's going to do, the better. But Team Baggage wicketed out.
Yeah, Team Baggage did.
That's the one thing about poor Melinda, though. I feel bad for Chris Rose. He needs to get her on the same page with him as far as the wicket dance goes. He loves it so much, and she just doesn't know how to do it yet. And I feel like his heart is breaking a little bit. He might miss his guy Sammy just a little bit when it comes to the wicket dance.
Sammy made it, didn't he?
I think so.
So she'll get there.
Yeah. Okay.
One game. Next game.
Yeah.
McFlurry versus Rotten. So then we go into the second inning. No more wickets out. These are now going to be complete innings, all 18 balls thrown. And if you're like me, you got to be thinking, there's no way that Del Caribe is going to repeat what they did in the first. And they didn't. They exceeded it.
Yeah.
And instead of 51, they scored 52. Lou continuing to be huge, ending with 55, as you said before. This was Joe's inning, though, where Joe's really put up a ton of work, holding off on wides, getting these, big runs in, ending with about 30, I think was his final off of hits. Yeah, 33 if you count no balls. Got very lucky because Rob got it in the magic hole twice against him. But one was 41 miles an hour, and it's anything 41 and over is a redo.
Yep.
One was 41 miles an hour, and the second one was 42. And it's
Tough.
almost comical that Rob seems to be the only one who's 3 times in this game. He was the only person to get it in the magic hole. It was 3 times.
Yeah.
And 2 of them don't count. That's got to be gutting for him. But, it's something to build off of in the future. Rob seems to have something going on with his pitches that, at the very least, Joe's can't touch. Or Lou, I guess, because he got the magic hole against Lou.
Yeah, which is surprising, too, because Lou was dominating, and then, the magic hole means you threw it kind of down the middle. So
Right.
it's weird of him to just, take that and be frozen by it, but who knows?
Right.
A
And
little
no
bit of
no
curve on that.
wickets. No wickets in this one. So it was Lou and Joe's the whole 18.
Yeah.
And you saw this real strike partnership with them where, hey, it's something that we knew from the last tournament already, but it's kind of nice to have it cemented again in these guys are picking up where they left off. They're still very good on strike. They're still a very, very dangerous duo. Couple
Cam.
that with the fact that Aaron is here. That's a different sport. Couple that with the fact that Aaron is here now again, and he seems to be understanding it better. And Toby seems to be getting off to a pretty decent start. Time will tell with him because 3 balls is a very small sample size.
Yeah.
But this is a dangerous, dangerous team. And honestly, Baggage is good bowlers. Rob and Jimmy are
Supposed to
legitimately
be.
good bowlers.
And they will be.
And they
I
will
have
be.
faith. Yeah.
I
But-
think they still are. I just think this is more of a case of Del Caribe is better strikers.
Yeah, it's interesting. We haven't really seen this yet, where the great offense has neutralized the good pitching. This offense to me feels like it's just like in the baseball terms, it's like a deep lineup. They're like the Atlanta Braves lineup of ball and play so far. It seems like there's no holes. Like even if Joe's or Lou did get out and then someone else had to hit, we know both guys that are on the bench are also just escapable. It's like having
Yeah.
Ozzy Albies in your 6 or 7 hole. It's not fair.
I don't have that many holes.
Peter, you have more than you think. We'll count them off
I
air.
don't know. we'll count them off fair. But yeah, they do it again. 103-17, kind of guaranteed death sentence at this point for Baggage.
Yeah. So going
So-
into this inning, so when Baggage goes down 51-0, you're like, well, if they're competitive, they got to put up 35 maybe,
Right.
and then they don't. You're like, all right, well, the game's basically over, but we've seen crazy things maybe Del Caribe will get wicketed out after scoring just 10 runs, and it'll only be 61-17, and then all Baggage has to do is have a crazy a Lou inning, but they
Yeah.
put up another 50 plus, and then it's 103-17 going into the bottom of the second inning.
Against,
It's a laugher.
arguably the greatest ball and play pitcher that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Chris
We
Rose says
still
it.
don't know why. We still don't know why Joe's is so good at bowling when he's really not that good at pitching in blitzball. But it's so different, I guess. And
Very,
nobody
very
could really hit him. I mean, what? Joe's already, if you look at his his early runs scored for runs conceded per overs bowled, he has a 10.3.
I thought it was going to be a
That's-
fluke because it doesn't look like he's even trying to do anything specific, because he's just lobbing up there like everybody else is. I don't even know if he's putting any
Yeah.
curve on it. Maybe he's got a
He
weird
has-
natural pronation that we don't know about and we can't see.
I don't know. Jimmy was talking about how it just comes in very slow and it throws off the timing.
Yeah.
But you see the guy 3 full overs.
Actually, maybe that's the move here. So we're capped at 40 miles per hour, and people are starting to get used to the kind of lazy curve that's coming in too. Maybe the move is to come in from a high angle and just arc it lob style. And that's
Right.
Joe's natural throw. We've seen in blitzball, his natural throw is a lob. So maybe that's why it translates so well to ball and play.
I mean, when you see Joe's, who has been likened to Mariano Rivera in the past, not even a joke,
True.
for the first 2 overs. You know, what was it in the first over? It was 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. They got 11 runs in the first over of the second inning, and coupled with a wicket. It's like, that's not good enough. And then Joe's comes back in for the second over of the last one, and it's 8 runs. You just got 19 runs on 2 overs against Joe's. Like, which is what we've seen to be the standard for
like
Joe's.
Under 10 per over.
Well, on average.
On average.
But yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like, we see Father Shea get wicketed out by Aaron to get him out of it. But then you have Jimmy and Jake, you know, Jimmy, you and I were texting about this.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy does a very good job of staying in the game on strike or as the strike partner. He's not great with boundaries. He gets a lot of hits, but his hits are like 1 or 2 runs.
That he maybe with running, he could steal an extra run on so he can maybe get you.
He's very smart on the base pass, for lack of a better
especially
term.
on a wide. Like he's really good when he's on the other side, expecting a wide. He'll be ready for it. Like we see
Jimmy's
this
very good at it. Jake is there too, thankfully, which is like Jake is one of the better strikers in this tournament. We saw it in the last one too. I believe Jake was a decently high scorer. Let me see. Yeah, like Jake was a decently high scorer, not the best, but like, you know, top 10. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The fact that they're there is kind of nice because you get the feeling like, hey, we have a fighting chance, kind of. Jimmy will exploit wides, and Jake will, you know, do what he has to do to get runs. And we see this with Toby coming in, and most of it is because Toby cannot be accurate. Jimmy's standing in front of the wickets the whole time, so he kind of misses a bunch.
And they know they can be silly at this point because they know they've lost basically no matter what. There's at one point I think it said like
very aggressive.
They need to score 49 runs on 1 ball.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was something. They were very aggressive on wides. Almost every wide went for 2. The only one that didn't go for 2 was the one where Aaron got Jake to end the game because the wide happened. Aaron read it, got the ball, and pretty seamlessly threw it at the wickets to get Jake out before he reached. 26 runs in that final over. And I think it's safe to say, Brendan, that we're probably not going to see Toby again unless no golden over happens.
Yeah, that was a big tryout for him. He may have failed. I think there's also a little bit of like just funny business at the end there with like Jimmy jumping up and down in front of the wide, knowing the game didn't matter anymore, and it really should have ended somewhere with Baggage in like the mid-50s as far as score goes. But yeah, I think Toby is now like only
batter only.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which is fine. He was great at the strike.
Yep.
This was all in all.
You only need 2 bowlers in a game, ideally, as long as you always get a golden. It's not always the case. I guess he's like really your maybe your 4th option if someone like broke their arm or something. I don't know.
Well, I still don't think we've really seen Lou that much bowling wise.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lou was pretty decent bowling.
No, yeah.
So, I mean, like, it's
they
definitely
tried
possible.
They tried Toby. Didn't work out. Lou's fine. Lou will do.
Yeah. 6.5 overs bowled in the last tournament. So, like, it's getting Toby reps to see if they have lightning in a bottle and they have the perfect team, honestly. For a 41-point drubbing, this really was a very exciting game all the way to the end, to the point where Jimmy and Jake were running so much on the wides that I legitimately thought, like, could they? I knew that they probably couldn't.
The end, that kind of felt like when you're playing Pokemon and you're up against like a gym leader or like a Final Four or an Elite Four member, and you have nothing but like 1 or 2 Pokemon left, and you're just spamming the revive, and then when you get knocked out again, you have a revive ready. You always have like 1 extra guy that you can bring in to like take a hit, so you can use a revive on your next Pokemon. That makes sense to maybe a handful of people, but I know you would get it.
I got it. I got it. Write in the comments if you got it.
If you understand, if you fucking got it, let us know.
If you got it, write in the comments. But yeah, amazing game for the
Fun
first game.
stuff.
Baggage by no means do I think like looks like a bad team. I could very easily see these two teams meeting again in the playoffs and Baggage winning.
Father Shea said it. He said, famously, the team to win the championship every time loses the first game.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
mean,
science.
it's just like they need to shake a little rust off. They need to figure out how to work together as a team better, and Shea needs to figure out the warehouse, and I think then they'll be deadly.
Yeah, they need him. They need him.
But
It's also
now
it's
Del
cool.
Caribe looks incredible.
It's an awesome game. Like, look at what they've created here. It's a game that was a complete blowout, and we were thoroughly entertained the entire time. Just because there's so much action. This was the design of the game, was to create so much action on field that no matter what, you're entertained, and that's what was going on here. 165 runs were scored in this game. It was fun to watch.
So, I have a question for you before we get into our little baby awards.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite team for this?
I don't know. I guess because all of our boys are on hook, line, sinkers, and they're defending champs. I think I'm rooting hook, line. I'm usually
Front
by
runner.
default a baggage boy, so I will have those two teams as like my teams I will be actively rooting for. But also, but I was talking to you before this show too that I'm so excited to watch Moylan play for Levias. So it's hard. We say it all the time that it's hard to pick one particular team.
Yeah.
Because we're fans of this hero content, they call it, apparently, where we know all the guys that are in here.
Hero content?
Yeah, Jimmy was saying this on a morning recently too, where apparently hero content is when people know all the characters on the show from like other shows, and they're all in one place now.
Okay.
So
does Nicole have a team that she's like preliminarily rooting for, or is she just waiting for the first round to be over?
Her about she's always been a Levias fan too, and I think she likes Moylan a lot too. I don't even know if she knows that he's in the team, so she might be really excited about that.
That's pretty dope. I
kind of want.
Think that I'm gonna. I think I like McFlurry just because they have the least experience out of everyone, and I want to see
it's
them.
a fun story for them to
go
another one. It almost seems that floorball didn't count in this.
No, in my mind, floorball doesn't count. Floorball's last season.
I know, but it's things that especially things that it doesn't count for the points in this season. Like, it would be really cool if it all was, if the streak was inside this cup.
Yeah,
but
cup. Is that a K-Mag joke?
Ooh, it is now.
I think I'm gonna root for McFlurry Power, just because
I like it.
They have the least. I'm very excited to see how Colin and K-Mac do.
Yeah.
And then you have Jack, who's Toby's partner for their cricket YouTube channel, and then Justin Dill, who famously played in the last tournament.
Nice.
So I'm very excited to see all of that pan out. But for now, Brendan, we're gonna go with our player of the game.
Player of the game. Who has it? Me?
I don't know. We have 3 awards, Brendan.
What's the third award?
The BBD Memorial Defensive Player.
Oh, yeah. I'll start with this one because I know who I think it should be. I'm going to say it's Lou Deb. He put up a crazy number. I don't know if anyone's ever put up this many runs on their own in a game before. 55 runs on his own is just ludicrous. That's it. I mean, he hit, what was his boundary numbers? He had 5 sixes and 6 4 balls. Just nuts. He's a bad dude.
Yeah, 5 sixes and 6 4s. Oh my god, that's so hard to keep track of when you say it like that.
Yeah.
I was like, no, Brendan, that's too many numbers you just said.
26-52.
Lou is, even with 4 dot balls, Lou putting up 55 is so stupid.
Yeah.
It is unreal. This guy's going to get an MVP again.
Especially if he comes in and pitches a little bit.
Not even. He doesn't even need to. If he puts up numbers like this.
Is he the reverse Colin Stone?
I don't think he even needs to.
Offense only?
Offense only. That could be it.
Wins games by putting up plus 50s every time.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, he's
Oh.
55 is like sometimes a team's total. Like what Lou versus Baggage today. Like without all the wides at the end of the game, it could have been like Baggage tied with Lou's total.
Without all the wides, Baggage, and you're only playing against Lou, Baggage only wins by what? Less than 10?
Yeah.
It's what? 6. They win by 6 runs.
Yeah.
If it's just them versus Lou. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy. Play of the game.
Play the game.
I think the play of the game was Joe's immediate wicket on Rob to start the bottom of the first inning.
Nice.
It's just like Del Caribe is coming off of a 51-run first inning that wasn't even complete because they wicketed out.
Mm-hmm.
Then to start the next inning by taking the MVP of Captain's League, the most recent ball and play league, and getting him out with the first wicket is such a crazy momentum shift. Not even a shift. It's just continuing the momentum that they already have and just like burying Baggage. Your favorite thing in sports.
Bury him, step on their neck.
Step on their throats. And it just set the tone that, hey, Del Caribe is this ruthless, ruthless team. Doesn't matter how far ahead they are. They will never feel comfortable, and they will just continue to try to win by 100 runs.
Yeah.
That's got to be it.
Game 1, they're a force.
Force to be reckoned with.
And now.
That's it? That's all you're going to say?
Yeah. No, that's good. I think you've said
Great
it all.
analysis.
That's
Brendan.
great.
Good
That's
analysis.
very good.
Brendan.
I thought it was like
Good
the first award where it was like
your color
we kinda said it
commentary,
all.
I'm play-by-play. That's what it is. That's what
My
what
color
we're going
commentary
with.
is, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, okay. It was pretty. I don't fucking care. Let's get on it. Let's get on to this. And now it's time for the BBD Memorial Defensive Player of the Game.
Now, from what I understand about this award, we have user-submitted theme songs, right?
No.
That we sing.
No, you would always do the... When we did this, I don't know if you remember, you would always do the BBD,
I thought that was just one time. I did that every time.
Oh, you did it every single time.
BBD, 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 BBD.
And then I think we played something. Maybe the claps.
Like that, maybe?
That was it, I think.
Okay.
Whatever. We're
There we
very
go.
professional.
Very good.
So, this could be a couple of guys. This was not pre-picked by either of us.
I have an idea. I don't know if
You
we're
could
on the
get-
same page.
You could get Jake, who made some good plays, very good plays.
Mm-hmm.
You could get Aaron, who made some very good plays, and he made the big stopping Jimmy from getting a 4 off the back wall with his foot. Or you could do Lou, who made a really fun catch to run from essentially one side of the wicket keeping area to the other to make a catch and a wicket to get, an out. I can't see
None
it
of
being
those
any of the other three.
Or
Get
what
the
I was
fuck.
going to
Are you going based off of bowling stats?
No.
'Cause I don't-
Mine's more of
I'm
a
not-
rude one, but I wanted to touch on this because it was interesting.
I don't factor bowling into this.
No.
For the defensive.
This is not official. I was just going to say that I wanted a way to shoehorn in the ball to the face of Joe's. It was a great
You're
defensive
so
play.
You're so rude. It hit him in the eye,
It hit him
Brendan.
in the eye.
Bowling play hates eyes.
They really do. They really do.
Jimmy
but it was a
got
good defensive
blinded-
play. Like it amazing for him to get
yeah.
hit so hard and then continue the ball really well.
He did it on
Good for
purpose.
him.
He got in the
Good
way
for
on
him.
purpose. He let it hit. He went,
He did.
go to the YouTube, see what happened, see what Joe's did. I'm going to make an executive decision here, Brendan, and I'm going to say Aaron, solely because of, well, not solely because of his block from Jimmy to get the 4. Reading Jimmy, I do think it's partially on Jimmy for tipping his hand and like jumping to the other side, so Aaron knew what was coming, so he stopped it with his foot, saving 4 runs, and reading the end of the game where knowing a wide was coming and knowing they were going to run, grabbing the ball, throwing Jake out, at the end, kind of garbage time a little bit,
Yeah, yeah.
but
No, that was
it was
good.
good enough.
That's interesting too to think about
And also, he caught the pop up from Father Shea.
from
So
Shea.
good job, Aaron. As a professional, we try to not give the professionals the awards, but it's
No, it's
too.
fine. If you earned it, you earned it.
You earned it. You earned it.
I wonder if that's going to come into play, or if it's just a thing that non-cricketers do if they show their hand a little bit earlier than you want to.
Right.
I didn't really think about that, so maybe I'll go and when I see more cricketers do this, if it's a very delayed little thing, or if cricketers are better at doing it the other way too. So if you're a righty, you're going to turn around and hit it facing the back wall. You're looking at the right side. You're going to hit it to the right side. I wonder if they can kind of be switch hitters in that sense and like swing it around lefty style too. So to kind of trick them. I don't think that regular people have that ability, and you're always going to hit it to your pull side if you're not a cricket player. But I'm curious to see if there's a delay or if you can be a switch hitter.
I think it's going to be fun. They've talked a lot about Dalton being really good at like hitting it behind. So I'm excited for a first Lovey's game. I would love to preview the next game, Brendan. I really would. Mm-hmm. Forgotten Rotten versus McFlurry Power.
It's up in the air.
We haven't seen enough.
No, I don't know. I was going to say that too. Like, I don't really know what we're going to see here at all. But it's a little bit more difficult of a sport to
here's
give previews
what I
for
want
until we've seen like a full round of it.
Then we'll do what to watch for. You get one, I get one. Here's what I want.
Maybe
this is what I'm going to say.
That's a good idea.
What should we watch for in the next game? Justin Pennick getting better at bowling. We saw in the first ball and play, Justin Pennick at the start of the tournament was looking like one of the best bowlers in the entire tournament. In the world, Justin Pennick was one of the best in the entire world. And then he kind of fell off towards the end. Mm-hmm. You know, he let up a lot more runs than he was at the beginning of the tournament. Fell to like the middle of the pack. Then you go to Captain's League, and Justin Pennick, famously, arguably the worst bowler there. So you have a guy who came into the ball and play one looking like the best bowler out there, like to start the tournament. The best. We were talking about, wow, how can any bowler be better than Justin Pennick at the start of that tournament? And ended up falling off so hard he went from one to the middle.
Yeah.
And then in Captain's League, which I'm not 100% sure on, but I'm going back to check right now, I think that he had the worst economy out of all bowlers for the Captain's League ball and play tournament. Let's see. No, not the worst, but he was down there. Oh, no, he was the worst. Okay. Out of everybody who bowled, he was the worst. So I would love to see Justin Pennick learning from his mistakes, getting a better economy during the tournament. Maybe not being the winners, per se, but definitely... I'm sorry, maybe not being the best bowler, but definitely being better than what he was. Because I really like Justin Pennick.
Me too.
I really like Justin Pennick showing the ball and then bowling. I think that's very fun.
Do the old Nestor.
Justin, it gives off a great like aura for what he does.
Yeah, I'll be interested in that too. Mine is going to be more offensive, and I think there's someone on Rotten that is the face of the franchise there and needs to show why. Tyler Plouffe. Trev needs to put on a Lude-like performance here.
Can we call him Tyler Plouffe from now on? I meant to say Tyler Plouffe. But it fully came out Tyler Poof, and I kind of really want to call him that from now on.
I'm happy to call him Tyler Poof from now on.
BBD, let's start a movement. Trevor is now Tyler Poof.
Tyler Poof really needs to have a Lou-like performance because he's another one of these players that has a big ego and is a great big personality on the field, and I want him to back it up and show that he is the best hitter in the warehouse.
Let's see.
Let's see.
How did Tyler do last time? He was very middling last time. He was right around the middle for almost everything. A lot of pop-ups.
Yeah.
I think, but listen, if I'm going to put my money on anybody making an adjustment to be better and to be, to up their game and to become more competitive in this league, it's Trevor. Almost said Tyler. My God.
Say Tyler. That's his name.
Yeah, Tyler. If I could bet on anybody, it's him because as a pro athlete, he has that fire in him. He
Right.
has that tenacity that he just wants to be better.
And hitting batting practice here, he just has to make minor adjustments.
Right. He doesn't want
For a
to
professional.
just be. He doesn't want to just be the best player on his team. He wants to be one of the best players in the league. And I could totally see him coming in.
Just like
in the
Pennick.
world. Justin Pennick, Tyler Poof. They're the two best ball and play players in the world.
And they're best friends.
And now they're best friends. They go over each other's house for fire pits and barbecues. Who said that?
I don't know.
Not
I've
me.
blacked out.
I blacked out. Oh,
Oh.
that was a good pause. I like that one. But yeah, that's a good one. Justin Pennick, Tyler Poof. Take a look out for those two. I'd also
Good
like
luck,
to
kiddos.
honorable mention. Let's see how Colin and K-Mac. Prediction, I think K-Mac is going to do. I think he's going to acclimate to this sport a lot faster than we think he will.
I hope he doesn't suck so we can watch him just be himself on the field.
I don't think he's going to have an adjustment period.
Well, I mean,
I
if
think
he
he's gonna-
does hit pop-ups and wickets out, we don't get to see much from him. So I'm worried about that a little bit. I want to see
Yeah.
him stay on strike.
Yeah. I could definitely see him being a good bowler and a good striker.
Oh, bowler!
definitely
He's
do
he
that.
better bowl a ton. He's going to be such a fun bowler.
Yes.
I hope he's
Especially
the
if he
first one
fucks
to throw submarine bowling.
around.
I really hope so. I think the rule is that once you pick an arm angle, you have to stick with it, right? So that's no problem for him.
Yeah.
Let's see.
40 miles an hour.
Let's see.
Colin's. I think Colin might struggle with 40 miles an hour.
He might. He might.
It'll be interesting. And then Jack, we'll find out. Justin is going to have to, for lack of a better term, be the leader of the team for the first couple of games, I think. Until Colin and K-Mac really figure out this sport, I think Justin's going to have to take charge. Because I believe Justin was on pinstripe, so he played all the games last time.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Well,
those
it's
are our
gonna be a
two
fun
things to
tournament.
look out for.
those are our two things to talk about for the looking out, guys. What?
What? Oh my
Go
God.
Nets!
What?
I hope
Why are you
I hope
running?
they
You're
win.
sick.
I hope they win the World Series. Can I be real with you for a second? I
No.
am a Nets fan, famously a Nets fan.
Interesting.
I have not given a shit about the Nets since they traded Brooke Lopez years and years and years ago. They essentially moved to Brooklyn, traded Brooke Lopez, and I was like,
They moved to Brooklyn and traded Brooke Lopez. That is so
How
stupid
dare
because
I loved them
That's
when they were the New Jersey
same
Nets. I loved them when they were the New Jersey Nets. Every Nets jersey I own is a New Jersey Nets jersey.
I can't say I've ever watched a basketball game in full.
No way. I used to be a massive Nets fan. I watched every game of the season.
I love playing basketball. Watching it,
I don't like playing basketball. I'm
love
too
playing
short.
basketball.
I'm way too short.
It's not the short thing; it's more about the ugliness.
The fat, the ugly,
Yeah.
the lack of agility, no
Right,
hands.
right. I didn't want to say all that.
I have no hands. Brendan, what should people be drinking?
We were too on the ball and serious all episode long. If you stayed this long, you get some
Two
good
on
bullshit.
the basketball?
Nice. Peter, how many dots are on a basketball go?
3.
Nailed it. 3
At
big
least.
bumps on a basketball.
At least 3. There's 3 big bumps.
3+.
I got nervous. Oh man. Okay, so you want to hear an ultimate Peter got nervous story, and this is my life, honestly. On Saturday, it was free comic book day, right? Historically, I've never gone, but I've always wanted to, just to like see if it was ever worth it. So I put a notification in my calendar, or an update in my calendar, reminder in my calendar to go. And I went in, to this comic book store, which was about maybe 10 minutes from my house, with the intent of going just for free comic book days. The second I walked through the door, the guy behind the counter goes, "Oh, hey, it's free comic book day. If you want, you could take 3 comic books home." And I panicked, and I go, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I walked over there.
Oh, really?
And
I'm here to be a regular patron, sir.
Really? That's very interesting. I didn't know.
Your pen's stuffed with the comics.
I walked over there and like looked at the sheet, and I was like, well, I have to get 3. And like maybe 2 of them piqued my interest. And then, so I got them, the guy hands them to me, and I was like, oh, thank you. And in my head, I'm like, I've already fucking said I didn't know it was free comic book day. I can't just turn around and leave now. I have to look around the store and pretend like I wanted to buy something. So then I'm looking around the store, looking at like the manga and like walking around, looking to see if there's anything. Like I have a friend who's very into comics. Maybe I could get him something. Nothing really finds me. Like nothing really piques my interest. But I'm like, I've been staring at this stuff for way too long. I have to buy something.
I think you absolutely could have left without buying something.
Brendan,
because if you were a real customer, you'd been like, oh, sick, I was going to buy this stuff. Now I don't have to buy it. I get to leave.
When I went home, Brendan, that was my exact thought. But in the moment, I was like, I need to do something. I've already tipped my hand. I've already told them that I didn't know about this, and now I've been in here for too long. I ended up buying
soaking wet from sweat.
So it's completely drenched. I ended up buying a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time manga that has like the whole story of Ocarina of Time in one manga. And when I like gave it to the guy to buy it, he goes, "Oh, nice. You know, I have a collection of these that they only gave out in Nintendo Power like years ago." And I was like, "Just fucking let me pay and leave, please."
I don't even
like,
fucking want this
I'm
one,
already
but...
nervous enough as it is. But yeah, that's your little bullshit story that you get at the end of this of how my brain works.
There you go.
It was literally, oh, it was like, why did I say that? That's the only reason I came here.
I don't have any stories like that because I'm a normal man and I'm just cool whenever I interact with anyone. Actually, I saw my sister's ex-boyfriend of 12 years the other day, who's like a part of my family for a long time, and I bumped into him in the deli on Friday morning.
Is he the one who wanted to fight you?
Yes, we have a bad history.
Nice.
And it was just me and him in the deli. I was like, "Hey, Jess!" I go up to him and give him a hug, and then I say like, "Congrats on him having this child," and then I make a joke about me not being able to because my wiener's in a knot, and then I leave. And that was our entire interaction.
Well, there's a little insight to our lives, everyone.
We're normal guys.
Comment your totally normal brain stories down below.
Down below.
Brendan, what should people be drinking?
Drink Subtle Tea is a drink made by me. You can find it on thesubtletea.com. Order a 12-pack using code HOBBYBOYS to get $2 off your order. You can find that podcast, The Hoppy Boys, wherever you get your podcasts. It's a podcast about beer. With my friend Brian, we host it, talk about it. We have a good time. It's funny sometimes. You can also listen to The Lonely Boys. We're in our last season covering Gossip Girl. If that's your sort of thing, go check it out. We're almost done. Season 6 so far. We've watched one episode. Horrible. It's gonna be bad.
A real last season syndrome for this show.
Oh, yeah, it got cut in half. They only gave it 10 episodes, which is good. I'm glad about it because it's been slowly degrading in quality. But been more fun to. It's hard because sometimes I'll watch the episode and be like, oh, I can't wait to tear this apart. And we do shit talk it the whole time, but I'm having so much fun talking about it and like making fun of it that I'm like, all right, episode grade. I give it like a B+. Like, wait a second, no, this is bad. I had fun talking about it. It's different.
Overall, from what you've seen, what would you rate the show? Better or worse? No, don't even give it a rated. Better or worse than what you expected going into it? Do you like it better or worse than what you expected to?
I say maybe worse.
That's crazy.
I expected it to be like a good show, and it's more like entertaining than good. Does that make sense?
I got you.
Yeah.
Shock value.
Yeah. So it's almost like a soap opera. But yeah, you can also watch this show on YouTube on the Blitzball Boys YouTube channel. Type in Blitzball Boys to find us, and it'll pop up with our YouTube channel. No workaround, no reach around. Oh. Just type in Blitzball Boys and find all of our warehouse content and Blitzball content.
Wow.
Easy
a
to find us now.
rebrand.
Rebrand.
A
It's
rebrand
Blitzball
for
Boys
Ball and
underscore.
Play.
If you really can't find it, I had to put the underscore in. Someone else has Blitzball Boys. Those fuckers.
Wow. I will plug my brother Matthew Del Rey. He's a good boy. I love him very much. Give him a hug and kiss if you see him. God knows he needs it. He lost a bunch of weight. I'm really happy for him.
Wow. Handsome.
Very handsome
got it right.
boy.
He's number 8.
Number 8, most handsome on Nick's Twitter, as voted by the Nick's Twitter girls. Placia Stars. Beyond that, Brendan, ask me the question.
Got anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
Bye.
Bye.